Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Aligned and Thriving for Teachers. Today, we're diving into a topic that I know many of you have dealt with, and it's a hard one. um, Thinking about dealing with a partner or even friends and family who just really don't get what it means to be a teacher or an educator. Now, let me say this straight up. This is both a blessing and a curse. Don't get me wrong. Because on one hand, it's amazing to have people in your world that aren't so deep in teacher land 24/7, that they can help you and pull you out of those stress spiral situations and remind you that there's more to life than the marking and the planning. But then on the other hand, sometimes they just don't understand. And wow, that can get so frustrating. So let's be real. You've probably had some moments where you've come home absolutely wrecked, mentally, emotionally, physically, and then your partner comes along and says something like, "What's for tea?" And my brain is just done. Or if it's close to that time of holidays, you get, "Well, at least you've got the holidays coming up." Or you get that friend that casually just drops in, "Oh, it must be so nice to finish at 3." Mate, really? Meanwhile, you're sitting back there thinking, "I've just worked a 10-hour day. I haven't peed since recess, and I'm mentally prepping tomorrow's lesson already in my head and panicking about the stuff that I didn't get organized this afternoon before I left." So it's like trying to explain an alien language to someone who's never heard it before. And honestly, it's not even their fault most of the time. They just don't live it like we do. But here's the thing, they need to vent too, okay? And that's a big one. They have their own stuff going on. They have their own work stress, house stress, life stress. And just because we're walking around with 600 to-do lists and about 100 odd tabs open in our head, a glue stick stuck in our hair, which also doesn't mean that we get to dominate the emotional space in the house. So, how do you find that balance? To be honest, it's something I'm always working on. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect at it. You can just ask my family, but I try. So, how do we honor our need to vent, our need to offload without pushing our partner, our friends, or our family away who might just not have the capacity or the understanding to meet us where we are? So, here's some things that have helped me. So, let's break it down. Tip 1, negotiate the conversation space. This is something that my husband and I have had to learn the hard way. If I come in guns a-blazing, listing everything that went wrong in my day, and he's had a bad day too, we both just end up drained and probably argue about something that's not related to anything. So instead, we've worked on negotiating. Literally. Like, "Hey, I really just need to get this off my chest. Is now a good time, or do I need to talk to you later? Do you need to go out to the shed and do something? And then when you come in, can I talk to you, please?" Sometimes we have code word like just a quick, "Oh, can I just brain dump for 5 minutes and then I'll be done, I promise." It makes it feel more manageable and respectful for both of us. And to be honest, I married a man that needs to vent too. And he's not going to listen to this, but he knows that I'm talking about him and it's fine. I'm not saying anything that he doesn't already know or already own up to. Bless him. So he needs to vent too. So he might talk about his day, and I need to consciously make that effort and time in my day to focus and listen and respond, not just smile and nod people. I need to actually communicate back and function. So we negotiate that time so it works both ways. It might work the same with your family too, or your friends. So tip number 2, and I know I've talked about this before, but you need to get yourself a teacher bestie, or 2 or 3 or more. Let's be honest. There is nothing like a vent session with someone who actually gets it. Your teacher bestie will understand the absurdity of you spending your lunch on duty in 35-degree heat trying to stop for a group of 5-year-olds from building a big like dirt pile bigger than the actual playground because they were hot and they wanted to bury themselves in the dirt. I'm not speaking from experience at all, am I? No, never. We've also had them try and dig in the sandpit and dig to China. But hey, it happens. It's just a normal day in the playground. They understand. They've probably been there too. They've probably had other situations that they want to share. They're your sounding board. They can help you to decompress in a way that doesn't exhaust your non-teacher, family, friends, relationships, if you know what I mean. I know that I have my teacher besties, and I also have a teacher for a mum. So what better way to try and process I've lost my train of thought. Again, talks underwater. I'm trying to say, so with mum and I, because we are both educators, we can dominate a conversation when it comes to the family because we're trying to vent over the top of the other people sharing. So we have had to work on that too in the family. And I think a lot of the men in our family have been very vocal about that and sort of named up when we take over the conversation because they don't get it. So we try and have our conversations around them or at other times so that we can still have a debrief too, because we understand each other. I'll tell you what, though, having some of those conversations and around other people, it does mean that they develop their understanding of education as well. And they might have a little bit more of respect and understanding for those people that are in education and have a bit more patience for teachers and kids when they know what you're going through. So again, it's a balance. My third tip for you, let them support you in their way. Oh, now this is a big one for me. Just because they don't understand what happened in that staff meeting does not mean that they're not going to be helpful. This is a short list of things that non-teacher spouses and friends can actually be amazing at. And yeah, probably speaking a little bit from experience here, but they can be amazing at getting you off your laptop at 9 p.m. when you're about to start that next unit plan. They can be amazing at encouraging fun, restful times or even encouraging you to do your self-care. Like, do you need a minute? Do you need to go for a walk on the beach, babe? Yep. Thank you, darling. Those little moments. They can be great at offering an outside, a neutral perspective or other perspectives, you know what I mean, on school dramas. Obviously, when you have those conversations, you're aiming to be respectful of those people and not naming people up. You can talk in theoretics, and I do that a lot. I talk in theoretically, if someone did this and they did this in your workplace, what would you do? And we sort of map it out that way. They may also be really good at helping with preparing resources like laminating. Yep, again, naming up my husband for this one. He is really good at laminating. He's way better than me, mainly because I argue with the machine and it hates me and it eats everything that I put through it. So he eventually just takes over because he gets frustrated and he does an amazing job. Again, don't tell him I told you that. That's just between us podcast people. Yeah, they also might be really good at reminding you of who you are outside of being a teacher. Because I've talked about that with you guys before, that you're not just a teacher. You are a human being first. And people who aren't in the teaching or education sort of side of things, they can remind you that you are a human outside of your work. They can also be good at booking something fun in the holidays so you don't just work yourself out the whole time. And again, go back to my self-care episode about self-care in the holidays because remember, you need to map out your time, so set some boundaries. They might also be really good at reminding you not to take it all too seriously because sometimes we do get very obsessed with taking things on and we get very serious about those things. They might also be good at holding space for you, even if they don't fully understand what's going on. They will take that time to listen and let you vent. They might also not listen to this podcast so you can lovingly roast them. Kidding, kind of. Honestly, my husband will probably hate that I'm saying all of these things because he is one of my number one people to vent to. But lucky for me, he doesn't listen to this. And lucky for him, I actually mean every word. So he's learnt a lot over the years about what I need and how to live with a teacher. And that includes giving me time to decompress in the holidays and not asking me to do 5 jobs the moment that I clock off for the term because, like life admin, hi, oh, can you go into town and do this now because you're not at work? And can you go pick this up and da-da-da? No, we negotiate these things and we work together because we're a team and we know what each other needs. And your friends, your family, they will all be the same. So if you don't have a partner, I'm talking about your family and your friends too, because they are the ones sharing space with you and they'll be the ones that are supporting you. Tip number 4, how to deal with those comments. You know the ones. Here's what I want you to remember. When a friend or family member makes one of those comments, okay, so these ones, you get so many holidays. Oh, it must be so nice to finish early all week. Why are you doing work on the weekend? You don't get paid for that. Wow. I would be a multi-millionaire. In fact, I could probably say I'd be a billionaire of all the comments that I have had in regards to my teaching and teacher life and how good my job is. I mean, yep, I'm going to own it. Yes, I get holidays because I deserve them. We deserve them, people. And yeah, sometimes I do have to work on the weekend. And when you're like me and have been a relief coordinator before, sometimes you work a lot of outside of work hours. And no, you may not get paid what you deserve for that time. But again, you are doing it to support your team. So we'd be very wealthy if we got paid in all those comments, I have to say. But here's how you can respond without snapping, even though you might want to. And if it is a sibling like I have, you may want to hurt them and inflict pain, but you don't because you love them. Sorry. So, number 1, keep it light. So your response might be, all that holiday time is for me to recover from the 60-hour weeks I've been doing. Remember report writing? Yeah, this is my recovery time from that. Number 2, it might be to share your why. I do it because I love making a difference, and the holidays help me balance everything else out, and they balance with rest. Number 3, set some boundaries. The next episode I come out with, the previous one I did was talking about saying no and setting boundaries. So this is about that too. So number 3, setting boundaries. Hey, I know it seems like I work a lot of hours, but it's just part of the job. It helps me show up for the kids and it helps me to feel like I'm organized and ready for the week. But you can make it shorter than that because really you don't need to justify what you're doing. You just do what's working for you as long as you are still protecting your boundaries. Number 4 is just to laugh it off. I'll swap you a week in my classroom and then we'll compare notes. Or, hey, you can come and take my job. I'd love for you to come and have a go and then tell me what it's like. Because remember, they don't have to get it. They really don't. I mean, look at some of the politicians out there. And I know I shouldn't really be saying it at this time of the year, but look at them. They definitely don't get it. Can you imagine some of them coming in and trying to manage a classroom for a day? Good luck with implementing your new so-called brilliant education strategy when you've got 22 kids and one's crying and one's missing out on something else and their friends fought with this one and there's glitter on the floor and you don't know where that glue came from that's sitting over there and why is that child doing that and why is this one now crying? How are you going to do that and balance everything else? So there's that whole process too. So you don't have to justify all the wonderful holidays that you get because you deserve them. And don't ever forget that. You don't have to start an argument with people just because they make a comment. I've learnt that over the years. Please don't take it to heart. You've got to learn that and just move past it. So the big reminder that I want you to take away today, so to focus on, you don't need everyone to understand your job, okay? Your family doesn't need to get it. Your spouse doesn't need to get it. You just need to understand the why and why you do it. Understand your why. Remember your why. Because this is who you are. You are passionate. You want to change lives. You want to make a school a safe place and a joyful place for the kids that are in your care. Sometimes you see them more than their parents see them throughout the day. It doesn't have to always make sense to the outside world because, yep, in education, sometimes we are in a little bubble, a little world of our own. But it has to make sense to you. And hey, if the holidays are what help you to recover and rest, take every second of it and do not feel guilty because those holidays, they are not a luxury. They are your compensation for the massive emotional and physical load you have to carry all year long. So the next time someone's going to throw a comment your way, just pause, smile, and remember your why. Then go text your teacher bestie and let it all out with them. Have your little vent session. Thanks for being here with me today, and don't forget to hit that follow button so you get notified when every new episode drops. And if you need more support, check out some of my resources on Aligned and Thriving for Teachers. It's on Teachers Pay Teachers, but if you search Aligned and Thriving for Teachers, you'll find it on there. You can DM me on Instagram. The handle will be down in there as well. You know that I've got your back. You've all got this, and you are not alone. I mean, if you could hear through this episode, and now you're going to go back and listen really carefully, that my beautiful dog who loves to star in these things, because yes, this is real life, and I'm only so good at editing things out, but you will hear my beautiful girl barking in the background because she's barking at her own reflection. So she's venting to herself. So if you can hear her through the episode, I am sorry, but I can't get rid of that lovely background noise as much as I'd love to work that out. But yeah, just remember that you've got this, you're not alone, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye, guys.